Interesting. You know, in his memoir, he called Camilla dangerous. Is she someone who has been dangerous to the royals?
Prince William made a shocking choice about Queen Camilla that has everyone talking. This decision is huge because it comes after a lot of family drama and tough times, especially after his mom, Princess Diana, died. Remember the big wedding in 2005? What does this mean for the royal family and how does it connect to her? Tune in as we dive deep into what is going on in the palace, how Prince William's bold statement redefines Queen Camilla's legacy. Back in 1995, my mother might have realized that the British monarchy wasn't what she thought it was. A symbol of tradition and calm, the monarchy has now been shaken by a shocking revelation from him, the future King of England. His recent statements have stirred up rumors, gossip, and a lot of attention, causing even the most dedicated royal family followers to feel overwhelmed. What big secrets has Prince William found out, and how will they change everything we thought we knew about the royal family? Stay tuned to find out more soon. At the heart of this uproar is she, who was once seen as the villain in a royal love story gone wrong. We're about to explore a surprising decision made by him about her. But first, let's look at her relationship with King Charles, the current King of England. Her marriage with him had a huge impact on him. When they announced their engagement in February 2005, reactions were mixed. Some people were happy for him, glad he found joy again, while others thought it was too soon after his death. The wedding took place on April 9, 2005, at Windsor Guildhall, followed by a blessing at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. This civil ceremony reflected the complicated nature of his relationship with her, especially since she had been married before. After the wedding, she became the Duchess of Cornwall. Interestingly, she decided not to use the title Princess of Wales out of respect for his memory. For him, this wedding made her role in his father's life official, which in turn made her presence in his life more defined too. She spent her childhood between London and the countryside, developing a love for nature and animals, especially horses. Throughout her life, she shared a close bond with her younger sister, Annabel Elliot, who was born in 1949. The sisters supported each other through thick and thin, and Annabel's steady support was especially important during the times when she faced harsh public criticism. She first met him in 1970 at a polo match. She was 23 at the time, and struck up a conversation by mentioning a historical connection between his great-great-grandfather, Edward VII, and her great-grandmother, Alice Keppel. This shared piece of history and her confident approach caught his attention right away. They quickly bonded over their mutual love for the outdoors, literature, and shared sense of humor. However, the timing wasn't right for a serious relationship. He was getting ready to start a naval career, and the royal family didn't think she was a good match due to her non-aristocratic background and dating history. In 1973, while he was away, she married Andrew Parker Bowles. His friends thought his relationship with her was fitting, but it became a burden for him. Still, he stayed close to both her and Andrew, even becoming the godfather to their son Tom, born in 1974. Throughout the 70s, she remained a loyal friend to him while also focusing on her family life with Andrew and their two kids, Tom and Laura. Their friends knew that both she and Andrew had relationships outside their marriage, which added stress to their lives. As the pressure for him to marry increased, he started dating Lady Diana Spencer in 1980. She was supportive, seeing Diana as young and unlikely to disrupt her relationship with him. They married in 1981, with her present at the wedding. However, he still had deep feelings for her. It's believed their romantic relationship rekindled in the mid-80s, although the exact timeline is unclear. This was a challenging time for her as she balanced her feelings for him, her marriage, and her role as a mother, all while trying to avoid public attention. Just when things seem calm, old choices come back to stir up new trouble. How Camilla's affair shook the royal family. When he was born in 1982, followed by Prince Harry in 1984, the situation became even more complicated. She knew their affair could harm the young princes. As his marriage began to fall apart in the late 80s and early 90s, rumors about her role in it grew louder. In 1992, Andrew Morton's book, Diana, Her True Story, revealed his ongoing relationship with her. Things got even worse the next year when a private phone call between him and her was leaked, causing public outrage and harsh criticism of her. But this wasn't the worst part. Despite the backlash, she stayed out of the spotlight and endured the public's anger, being blamed as the woman who broke up his marriage. Surprisingly, she would later become Queen Camilla. During these difficult times, her relationship with him was strained as he struggled with his loyalty to his mother and his feelings about his father's affair. In the mid-90s, both he and Diana publicly admitted to their affairs, with Diana famously saying there were 3 people in this marriage, casting her in a negative light. She remained mostly silent in public, knowing that anything she said could make things worse. Her primary concern was not to add to his pain. Even after his divorce was finalized in 1996, she had to be careful with her relationship with him, balancing public opinion and the feelings of him and Harry. This period set the stage for complicated family dynamics that would continue to affect their lives. But there was more to her story. Before all of this, she had been married to Andrew Parker Bowles. They met in the late 60s when Andrew was a lieutenant in the Blues and Royals. They got engaged in 1973 after a rocky on-again, off-again relationship, spurred by their parents who even announced the engagement in the Times without the couple's knowledge. Andrew quickly proposed, and they married on July 4th, 1973, in a Roman Catholic ceremony attended by around 800 guests, including members of the royal family. After the wedding, they settled in Wiltshire, first at Bolhide Manor and later at Middlewick House. Their children, Tom and Laura, were born in 1974 and 1978. Tom, godson to him, was raised Roman Catholic, though she remained Anglican. Despite this, their daughter Laura attended Catholic school, but eventually married in an Anglican church. After 21 years of marriage, she and Andrew began divorce proceedings in 1994, influenced by their long-term separation and the death of her mother. In July of that year, Rosalind Shand's battle with osteoporosis became a major challenge, as her father explained. This tough time came around the same period that her divorce started in January 1995. The divorce was officially finalized by March 3, 1995, in London's High Court Family Division. Not long after, Andrew, her ex-husband, married Rosemary Pittman, who sadly passed away in 2010. Then came the sudden and tragic death of Diana on August 31, 1997. This event deeply affected the British royal family and captured the world's attention. In response, she chose to stay out of the public eye, out of respect for the grieving princes and the mourning nation. During this time, he focused on helping his sons, him and Harry, cope with the loss of their mother. While he and she continued their relationship, they kept things low-key, especially considering the sensitivity of the situation with the young princes. Over time, he started introducing her to him and Harry more formally, though it was a delicate process. Diana had raised concerns about the relationship, and those feelings were still fresh. He, who was 15 years old at the time, had a hard time processing it all, torn between his own emotions and the complexities of the situation. As the new millennium approached, they started appearing together in public more often, even though it wasn't easy. They faced criticism and scrutiny, especially from those who still mourned Diana. One notable public appearance was in 1999, when they were seen leaving the Ritz Hotel after celebrating Annabelle's sister's birthday. But the real challenge was getting the public to accept her, as many people still saw Diana as irreplaceable. A key moment came in 2000 when Queen Elizabeth II attended a lunch with her present, a small but important sign of the Queen's acceptance of her. During this time, he had mixed feelings about her. While he remained polite, he also struggled with balancing his loyalty to his mother and his father's happiness. As he grew older, he maintained a respectful but distant relationship with her, acknowledging her importance to his father while still working through his own feelings. In 2003, she moved into Clarence House, his London home, making her a more permanent part of his life. This meant that he and Harry saw her more often during their visits. Then in 2005, when they got married, the decision was made to give her the title of Duchess of Cornwall instead of Princess of Wales, to avoid stirring up too many comparisons to Diana. But that wasn't the hardest part. The title of Princess of Wales had become almost entirely associated with Diana, who remained deeply loved by the public. Choosing a different title for her was a respectful nod to Diana's memory and a way to acknowledge the public's ongoing affection for her. This decision was part of a bigger plan to slowly bring her into the public eye and help improve her image among the people. However, when discussions arose about what her title would be once he became king, some people suggested she should be called Princess Consort instead of Queen Consort. This was seen as a compromise with public opinion, even though it went against royal tradition and sparked a lot of debate. Even with things settled, new tensions are about to shake things up again. William faces changes as Camilla's role grows. As Queen Elizabeth II's reign was nearing its end, there were renewed conversations about what her official title would be. Just before her Platinum Jubilee in February 2022, Queen Elizabeth made it clear that she wanted her to be known as Queen Consort when he became king. This announcement put an end to years of debate about her role and marked a big change from what people had thought when she first married him. It also showed how much public opinion about her had changed over the years. For him, her changing status and how the public accepted her was tricky to handle. As a young man, he had to balance supporting his father's happiness with honoring his late mother's memory. At first, she was given the title of Duchess of Cornwall and later Princess Consort, which might have made it a bit easier for him to come to terms with her place in the royal family. When the Queen announced her support for her as Queen Consort, it was probably hard for him personally, but it also made things clearer in terms of royal tradition. Being next in line for the throne, he knew there could be complications if she was called Princess Consort instead of Queen Consort. Despite the ongoing debate, he stayed composed in public, focusing on his duties and family. Over time, his relationship with her shifted from awkwardness after his parents' divorce to a more calm and respectful bond. But this wasn't the only challenge he faced. Her rising position and her acceptance into the family brought many difficulties for him. Nonetheless, he continued to prioritize his royal responsibilities and his family. On top of this, there was another significant issue involving her and him. This time, it involved his wife, Kate. Reports suggested that the relationship between her and him became more strained, mostly due to ongoing tensions between her and Kate Middleton. Their differences started soon after Kate joined the royal family in 2011 and were marked by small but important misunderstandings and disagreements. This tension became obvious during his coronation on May 6th. Royal writer Tom Bower mentioned an incident where Kate did not bow to her as she and he were leaving Westminster Abbey. While everyone else showed their respect to the king, Kate noticeably did not acknowledge her. Some insiders thought this was Kate's way of responding to her recent behavior. One major point of tension was her choice to invite Rose Hanbury, the Marchioness of Cholmondeley, to the coronation. There had been rumors in 2019 about an affair between Rose and him, which reportedly put a strain on his and Kate's marriage. Kate saw her invitation to Rose as a direct insult, which only made the already difficult relationship between her and her worse. But this wasn't the only issue causing friction between Kate and her. There were reports that she felt threatened by Kate's growing popularity in the royal family. An insider revealed that from the beginning, she was jealous of Kate. Even though this conflict wasn't always visible to the public, it had been growing for years. The ongoing tension between the two women had a big effect on the royal family, especially on the relationship between him and his stepmother, her. This eventually led to a decision by him that deeply moved him in 2005. She, his younger sister, and a famous interior designer played a key role in this situation. He had hired her as the main designer for his estates, including the Duchy of Cornwall, which helps financially support the heir to the throne. She was in charge of decorating and modernizing properties, and the payments she received like $25,000 in fees and another $115,000 for purchases, highlighted how personal and professional matters were often closely tied in the royal family. For many years, he was in charge of managing the furniture and decorations in the royal homes. But in July 2023, this responsibility was passed to him when he became the Duke of Cornwall. At that same time, a report by The Telegraph shared that he decided not to renew her contract for interior design services for the next year, 2023 to 2024. This decision wasn't because her work was unsatisfactory. Instead, it was because the staff had learned enough from her, and her help was no longer needed. As a result, all financial obligations to her were settled, marking the end of her involvement in managing the estate. But the interesting part isn't just about the contract ending. She had been working with the royal family for a long time, and she's also the sister of her. The two sisters are close and are often seen at public events together, like Wimbledon in July 2023. She even played an important role during her coronation in May 2023, where she served as an attendant. His decision to handle things differently shows a shift in how the royal family is managed. Unlike his father, he seems to be focusing more on efficiency and reducing the reliance on family ties. He's also showing a more modern and transparent approach to financial management. For example, he has chosen to pay income tax on his earnings, although the exact details of his earnings are kept private. Still, the choice not to rehire her is significant because it breaks away from some of the traditions followed during his father's time. How this change will impact his leadership and her future role remains to be seen. When she married him, she became the Duchess of Cornwall, placing her just below Queen Elizabeth II in the British order of precedence. In some situations, she is ranked 5th or 6th. After their marriage, Queen Elizabeth II changed the royal order of precedence for private events, placing her 4th behind the Queen, Princess Anne, and Princess Alexandra. But things didn't change overnight. It took some time for her to be fully accepted into the royal family. 2 years after their marriage, Queen Elizabeth II showed her approval by lending her the Greville tiara and giving her the Royal Family Order of Elizabeth II badge. Now, they live at Clarence House, and they spend holidays at Birk Hall. They also gather with the family at Highgrove House in Gloucestershire. Their main residence is Llwynwermod in Wales, where they spend summers and other important events. She also kept Ray Mill House as her personal retreat. After Queen Elizabeth II passed away on September 8, 2022, she became Queen Consort. She was there when he was officially proclaimed king. As queen, she wants to update some of the traditional roles, like the lady-in-waiting, making it a more casual queen's companion role. Do you think Prince William's choice about Queen Camilla has changed the royal family for good or caused more problems? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe for more.